All right, we back at it. Chuck Dizzle, Miss Bliss. This is Homegrown Radio.
Yeah.
And we got somebody that's definitely homegrown, man. You may not have seen his face, but you know his work. And then you're going to see his face even more, man. We got Jason Madison, a.k.a. J Skills, a.k.a. South Central J, a.k.a. the nigga that you seen directing, DJing, MCing. He's got a project, Good Grief, that is out right now. Congratulations, first and foremost, man. Appreciate you being here, big dog.
Thank you for having me on. Thanks for having me on.
Problem.
Handshake. The men always got that.
And it's the hard handshake, too.
Right. Yeah, no, it was we connected.
Yeah, exactly, man.
For sure.
First of all, how you doing? Good Grief is out right now. Congratulations on the release, man. Talk about that in itself, because I feel like whenever somebody's working on projects, and Bliss, I know you can attest to this being an artist, it's like your whole life kind of just stops. Right?
Yes.
So now that it's out, what are those things that you're feeling that it's out there for the people to receive? What's going through your thoughts? How you feeling, bro?
Man, I feel great. Okay. I mean, it was a weird thing to kind of go through, being my first album.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This, like, late in the game, having been recording, producing, rapping, filming for 20 years plus now. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this since I was like 13, 14 years old. So for me to never have decided like I'm gonna make out, I did a couple mixtapes.
Yeah.
So, but that's different, because you just rapping, you just doing shit, you just trying to put shit together to kind of whatever, like it's different than saying.
With the album, it's literally your story, it's your life.
Right, like I'm telling a story, you know what I'm saying? And it's like everything is meaningful, everything is intentional. So I just got a voicemail from my grandmother actually today, and because she's the last voice, that you hear on there, and she was just like, I love the songs, like I don't understand everything you're saying, but you're doing great, and I love how it sounds and everything. So like that's really all that matters to me. You feel me? So the fact that she, of all people's, like could feel the energy that I'm putting out there, and that my dad and my mom and my brother showed up to my party. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the people who were instrumental, you know what I'm saying, in the creation of me and the creation of like watching me while I'm, in the living room, 13, 14-year-old, trying to use Fruity Loops and in the garage, DJing all night and, all that
figuring
stuff.
it out.
Yeah, like the people who were there for that, like them feeling it and being like, like I'm happy for you.
It matters the most.
It matters the most.
Yeah.
And then obviously like, strangers or, people that are like yourself and other people like connecting with it. Like I just told you, my barber and other people like,
y'all. He was late to the interview because he was getting lined up. Yeah. His barber was telling him that he loved the project, so we're gonna stall him out. But, stuff like that. I know it has to resonate because they say it takes your whole life to create your first album.
Right?
Why did it take so long to drop this?
Because I was focused on other people, and I had turned my thought process, my direction to film, mainly, and I still been working on a documentary for the past 3.5 years that is gonna come out. I don't know, I don't want to give a date, but so I've been putting all of my artistic energy into doing that, and a lot of it honestly was because I kind of got disenchanted with what was happening in the industry.
Gotcha.
Like some of my friends now they stuck it out. Like people who I've worked with like Dahi, and other people who make beats, like who did 3 beats on the project. Dahi did the beat on the project. They were able to push through and see that success. But there were so many people that I saw that were making beats, and then the artists would put their beats on a mixtape, and then the artists would perform the songs, and they wouldn't get any money from it. Or there were so many rappers who were rapping, doing mixtape stuff, and not, but this is pre-streaming. So they weren't really seeing the fruits of their labor. And then on top of that, then when the streaming came, and nobody was really getting paid off of streams. So the setup and the mechanism for the music business was just really a deterrent for me at a point, because I was like, well, I don't see me getting signed by a major label, and I don't have the infrastructure of an independent artist. You got to have backing, tens of thousands of dollars, if not more, to be able to propel yourself as an independent artist. So the truth is, like, I saved, I had the money,
Yeah.
you know, and that's what people don't really talk about. I had the money to do this.
Do it, yeah.
That's the truth of the matter. Everything I'm saying, it's all about money, right? Like
nigga didn't have the bread at first.
Yeah. Really,
You know what I'm
like so I didn't. Now that I have the money to do and take the time and go in the studio and mix and master and do all of this stuff, now I feel like okay, let me go and do it. But it really was a happenstance thing because I drive for Uber. That's, you know, I was a post-production supervisor for TV shows for 6 years, and then I started doing this documentary, and I was taking care of my grandparents. So I was like, okay, I need to do something that allows me the freedom when they call for me to go,
that flexibility
to go be with them. So I started driving for Uber. And so as they began to transition, and you know, other people again that I lost through this time period, I'm meeting people doing Uber. And so the guy who produced the song Fake, I met him driving Uber.
Wow.
Yeah. So I hadn't even rapped, bro, in like over 10 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so it just so happened I struck up a conversation with him, and he's like, oh yeah, I produce. I'm like, all right, cool, send me some beats. And I heard the beat and I wrote the song almost immediately. And then that was July 1st of last year. And so from that point, I ended up recording maybe 30 something songs that turned into the album. So it was a combination of me like finishing that journey of, you know, the deep pain of the loss of my grandparents, one of my good friends, Amanja, who directed a lot of music videos with me, my first cousin James, and another uncle, two other uncles that passed. So it was a lot of people that passed within kind of like a 2-year window.
Wow.
And so then that mixed with meeting that guy right at that time, you know what I'm saying, as I'm going through this grief like process, it was like God was talking to me, and the way the music flowed out, I was like, all right, it's time now. You know what I'm saying? So that was a long-winded answer, but that's really what happened.
I think it provides context because, again, for some people may see you and they're like, oh man, I remember him in the Dom Kennedy video,
right?
Watermelon Sunday. You know, some people have different entry points to who you are.
Exactly.
Some people know you from just the directing. So it's like for you, I'm glad that you kind of get that explanation, because now it makes sense as to why somebody that's been, you know, instrumental behind the scenes and kind of in front of it and seeing all these movements happening, especially in Los Angeles, as to why this being one of your loves, why now you decide to do this. So I'm glad you gave that explanation. I think it provides context for the people that may not know.
Right.
But for you, like, what was that first love? Like, what was the first thing? Because you said at 13, was it?
Yeah, it was. Well, my dad was a DJ. That's how he met.
Shout out to DJ. What's his name? DJ what?
I don't even know what name he went by.
Okay.
DJ Pops.
DJ Pops. Yeah. Shout out to DJ Pops.
But he met my mom DJing a wedding.
Word.
Yeah. So when I was 13, I told him that I wanted to DJ, and immediately he bought me all the equipment. He set me up.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? But the funny thing about it is he actually was instrumental in both of my loves. I didn't know that I was a film guy until I got to college.
Really?
But same time when I was 13, he was the guy who was selling bootleg tapes to people at his job and all of that stuff.
Shout out to Pops.
So he had me start dubbing the tapes for him.
Okay.
So picture that time period in movies at like 1999 or whatever, all the way through high school. So it would have been like to 2004. I seen everything that came out before, and then also like, but that was like all these black movies, Players Club, you know what I'm saying, all tripping, all, you know what I'm saying, all that was like a prime ghetto film.
Strikes.
Yeah, Three Strikes. Like that's a prime ghetto film, the Wood, like ghetto film era, you know what I'm saying, but also The Matrix and fucking Lord of the Rings, and you know what I'm saying, all these other.
But would
like,
he have the good copies though, or did he have like
we had both?
People standing up.
Yeah, we had some of it, but that was a part of the thing. It was like sometimes like we would get a good copy and we would know, and like this one's gonna sell. Or sometimes we get one that somebody was recording in the theater, and we're like, we can't really.
You can hear him laughing.
Yeah. We had to tell them like this one is 5, this one is 10. You know what I'm saying? So it was like that. So that was like the nexus of my, you know, my film journey and my music journey. Okay. So my dad had a record collection. He would buy me every CD that came out. And then at that point, I started wanting to make beats because I was just a huge fan of Pharrell and the Neptunes.
Okay.
I remember the day I came home watching the Shake Your Ass video and being like, I've never seen this. Yeah. I've never heard this. Like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I met Tupac when I went to Marcus Garvey.
Hold up.
So that was actually
Here we go.
Stop.
Yeah. So that's actually the real thing. Sorry.
No, hold on. You can't just breeze by that, bro.
Yeah.
not everybody get a chance to meet Pac.
Yeah.
Where were you? So did you say Marcus Garvey?
Yes.
So you were in the class?
Yes.
In that infamous
filming? So not in that part.
But it was around the same time?
It was the same day. And the
Nigga, no, I'm sorry. I'm a huge Pac fan, so I've seen every clip of Pac there is. That's when he was doing the Dear Mama in the classroom.
Yeah.
Or no, keep your head up. Keep your head up in the classroom. Yeah. Bro, I know there was a young lady who interviewed him. I forgot her name, but I remember that particular interview. Yeah, and that time frame. So you were there that day.
Yes. So I was what they called.
I just found out.
I was what they called like a gifted kid, right? And that's why I do all of this stuff now.
You a gifted kid. You
right.
You said in the project too. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that, I mean, I don't know, because now it's like. Am I autistic? It's like, I don't know.
So
it might be on the spectrum. Might be on the spectrum.
But that's all good.
Yeah. And so
it's your superpower.
Right, because this is how I got to really meet him one-on-one. Right. So I got to actually meet him like one-on-one in Marcus Garvey because basically they used to roll me out as like a little parlor trick that I did. I memorized the 52 countries and capitals of Africa, and I could say them like in front of a classroom, like from memory.
Can you do it?
I cannot.
I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
You did the same.
I went to Marcus Garvey for like a year. Yeah. I was 3 years old, and I don't know if it's what Marcus Garvey taught, or if it was something. I don't know. I might be a little spectrum me myself.
Right.
But they have footage of me reciting all the bones in the body.
Right, yeah.
From Marcus Garvey at 3 years old.
Yep.
Oh, damn.
So when you're saying this, I can picture it because it was a big deal. Like that was what they prided themselves on.
Exactly.
In terms of the educational aspect. But continue, my bad.
Yeah. So like all of that's right. I could do the presidents. The I have a dream speech. Yeah. All that stuff I could do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm 6 years old at the time, right? 6 or 7, and so I did that. But part of their thing when Pac came was like the kids with the 2 best grades in each grade. Like if you had straight A's or whatever,
you're the ones that get to go.
Then you get to meet him one-on-one. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So he would come around to all of the classrooms while he was there, but then he sat in the auditorium where the chick was interviewing him, and then the top 2 grades from each class got to meet him. So I got to meet him one-on-one, and of course, he said whatever he would say to any kid. He said, "Oh, you're the future," and this and that. But again, it's like talking to Jesus, bro. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Did you know who Pac was at that time?
Hell yeah. Because again, my dad was a huge music and rap fan. Right. So my dad was my dad loved Too Short, Snoop Dogg, Tupac. You know what I'm saying?
You seeing it.
Yeah. And my dad didn't have no qualms about playing the ghetto shit for me, you know what I'm saying? So
you say Too Short for sure.
My dad's favorite rapper was Too Short.
Oh yeah,
he was, he always loved just that player energy and just the West Coast music and all that stuff. So I was already hip to Pac and everything, and so meeting him was another so that was the thing that propelled me to just be super interested, because at Marcus Garvey, again, they want you math and science. And I was super elevated at that. By the time I left in 4th grade, I already knew Algebra 2. So they wanted to skip me 3 grades whenever I was trying to go to another school. But again, my parents were like, well, I'm a short guy now, but I was a short kid. Right, so they're like, we can't. They were like, we can't. So I ended up going to this white school in the Valley and all of this stuff and they gave me a math tutor where I could have like my own little math or whatever. But that was the kind of the nexus of everything was that introduction to Pac, and then from there I was obsessed with Death Row, the whole East Coast. I didn't even listen to Life After Death until I was like 16, bro. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, because like
I don't think people realize how much they had us in a chokehold. It's like I give grace to the artists and those now because I'm like, you're so impressionable at that young age. It's like, why do I not like Biggie? Because of Pac and Death Row and everything that was going on. It took me, I'm sorry, it took me literally years, even I'm talking after high school, to even rock with Jay-Z like that.
Oh wow, yeah.
It had me in the chokehold to that extent. You know what I mean? But that to your point, it's like, it's first of all, it's hip hop in the 90s, and then for you to be connected in that sense where your dad is a DJ, I can see why you'd be so entranced by it. Like,
it was hypnotizing, and so
no pun intended.
Right. And so then from that point, so then when I was 13 and, I felt like I was old enough to try to do some stuff myself, that's when Fruity Loops had just came out, like maybe a year before or whatever. So my dad got me a computer, and I was downloading everything. I had Napster, you know what I'm saying? I was crazy with the Napster. So I was downloading everything under the sun, Family Guy episode seasons, you know what I'm saying? Like everything, I was going crazy. And so I downloaded Fruity Loops, and then I started trying to make beats.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Fruity Loops. Everybody has a similar story. You said your dad got you a computer.
Yeah.
But did you get the cracked version?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, did Pops buy you the actual Fruity Loops?
No.
You
Yeah,
downloaded on your own.
I downloaded it. Yeah, I downloaded the cracked version.
That's like a rites of passage. You have to get the cracked version.
Yeah.
You can't have like, well, they call it stems now. You can't have the sessions and all that. You got to export the beat in MP3, and that was it. After the session was done, that was it.
Yeah.
So you had, and I'm sure that taught you kind of how to work a little faster as well.
For sure, you start building the music in your mind before you even get to the buttons.
Yeah.
And so it was Fruity Loops 2.3. I remember that.
Damn.
Yeah. So it was a completely different program than what it is now, but it's still the same layout, right? But yeah, so then so at that point I started trying to make remixes. I would put a beat, like, because I had records from DJing, so I remember Lights Camera Action was big, and I would take the acapella of that and put my beat 106 BPM underneath that, and just like I was doing I remember like the Bootylicious remix was big then. That was like 97 BPM. It was like things I remember, like again, like I would just start to try to remix things and add my own flavor to it and what have you. And so then me and Dom started recording songs in my grandmother's garage, like recording on the mic into the mixer. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So like that type of thing. And it just, at that point, it wasn't really good, but it was fun. It was cool, and then from there we just kept elevating and elevating. One of Dom's best friends in high school was dude Andres and his brother Bucci. And so Bucci is a clothing designer, but at the time he did custom Air Force Ones for like all these celebrities, and Dunks for like Common and Missy and all these people. So they got to meet like these celebrities and stuff, and their sister, who was a grade under me, is a singer. So then we formed a group, me, her, and Dom, called 10 West. Wow. So then I was doing all the beats and rapping, and then Dom would rap and she would sing. So I would go over their house and write songs with her, and then we do the song and then send it to Dom and be like, all right, we need you to do a verse. And so then we had a whole album by the time I was 16, sending to everybody, that we knew in LA. They went to Santa Monica High School. I went to Fairfax. And so, this is where I met like my boy Rimpaw, who's best friends with Nipsey. My boy Oliver, who's on the album, he's on In Spirit, and he was at that, that famous picture of Nipsey by the computer when he was young. So Oliver and Rimpaw are in that picture with him. You know what I'm saying? Damn. And so I was living. So my grandmother lived off of basically like Arlington and 59th. Okay. But it's like Slauson and Van Ness. And so this is the first time now I'm starting to see all of these 6-0s because I got to take the bus from there to Fairfax every day. So this is where so this is where I first seen Nip, you know what I'm saying? He was a skinny, kid, dusty braids, whatever, but I would just see him every now and again. You be in VIP Records or it's Slauson Swap Meet or wherever, and you just start to see these niggas where you're like, for me it was like, if I see certain group of nigga, him, Fats, other people, I'm like, I'm going that way. That way. I know it's going, but then I started seeing them with CDs, you know what I'm saying?
Like, okay.
As we
about Napster or some shit.
Right. As we got older, but I never really even became friends with him until after I started doing, film and stuff. But that was just its own thing. But, again, being in LA, all these kids end up crossing through the bus paths, through going to different high schools, people getting kicked out, going to continuation schools, you know what I'm saying? Like you end up meeting everybody just somehow, some way,
Take me back to you and Dom's relationship. So did you guys go to school together? Did you guys live on?
It's my first.
Your cousin.
This is my first. Dom is my first cousin.
I don't know why. I knew you guys were childhood friends. I didn't realize it was a family connection.
Dom is my first cousin.
Got it.
Our moms are sisters. We used to live in the same apartment building complex that our step grandfather owned in Inglewood. Wow. So literally, like, we would be rolling like toy trucks like across the hallway into each other's apartment. So yeah, you know, like this is the nexus of everything. You know, like so literally, I was making beats and like DJing and stuff, and then one day he was 16, I was 13, and he had a notebook with some raps in it, and he just started rapping. You know what I'm saying? But I had already been rapping before that. I was probably like, you asked that was your initial question, what was my first love? I started rapping first. Before I could make a beat, I was in my mom's apartment. So when I was going to that school in the Valley, we lived in the Valley for like a year and a half. And so I lived in Sherman Oaks, right across the street from the Galleria. So I would just be in the house watching MTV all day, wanting to do what they was doing. Right. And so I would get on my computer and write all these lyrics. I wrote out a whole album, you know what I'm saying, at like 11, 12 years old. Yeah.
Write everybody's lyrics down. That's how you learn the song.
Right. But no, I'm saying I wrote
These are your lyrics.
I wrote my own lyrics down.
Shit.
Yeah. Okay. So this is how I was coming up with songs. I was just write a verse.
Wait, so are you doing it to beats? Like, how are you doing it?
No, I'm just
that's that spectrum shit.
Yeah. I'm just coming up.
I mean that shows that you that music side of you as well. Because to me, that I'm like, I need an instrumental, I need something. But you were connected to the point where you actually can construct songs or make songs based off that without the music.
Right. Yeah, no, that's how I was doing, and so I had a little boombox in my room, and that I had a mic connected to, and so I would rap into that. You know what I'm saying? As I'm writing these songs and whatever, and then that would just be it. You know what I'm saying?
But what are you recording to? Are the instrumentals from the like songs that you would get from your dad?
No.
You just acapella this shit?
I'm acapella. The first time I started rapping the instrumentals was when Napster came out, because I couldn't get beats. Right. So when Napster came out and I'm in that same room, now I'm downloading instrumental. I'm downloading the Shake Your Ass, I Just Want to Love You instrumentals. So
anything that you can get at that point, because you
nothing but a G thing. Yeah. All of that. So now I'm like rapping over old beats, whatever.
Do you still have the collection?
No, I don't. I wish I did. Like I don't really.
These would be were they on? They wouldn't be on cassette since it was Napster. No. It would be on CDs.
No. It would have been on cassette.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying. On my boombox.
That's right. That's
what
I
recorded to cassette.
Got it.
So I would have a cassette in the boombox, and then I would play the beat on the speaker. It was just janky as hell.
Now, but you putting the tissue inside the tape and recording yourself?
No.
He had the fancy boombox.
Yeah, I had the real nice boombox. That's what I'm saying. Anytime
I'm not knocking it.
Anytime my dad it was some audio equipment that I wanted, he would buy me the nicest audio equipment. He would buy me the nicest J's. Yeah. He wouldn't be around as much, but he was like, if you need some fly with the music,
figure that shit out. If you need me, I'm here.
Yeah. So that was that, and then so then we just kind of evolved after that, and so Dom's dad was actually the person who really encouraged me. So when we were 13, and I told you we were recording in my grandmother's garage, I played the CD that we put together. It was like 4 or 5 songs for Dom's dad.
10 West.
This is before 10 West.
Okay, we getting
there. So before we got to 10 West, I played him that CD, and he was just surprised, like, wow, this is what you guys want to do? Cool, like, this is great, keep going. Then when we did the 10 West CD, when I'm 16, I think Dom's like 19 at this point. And so they just got out of high school, and like now they're really trying to make shit happen. And so we did that. I played it for Dom's dad, and he's like, man, you guys made a quantum leap, And it was dope. Like the music I still have on my phone. Like I played it, for friends. A lot of people in LA who heard it then still remember that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that was their first kind of entryway to like, oh, like y'all are really doing something. You know what I'm saying? And I was sampling a lot, and that became the bones for what eventually 25th Hour would be. You know what I'm saying? So then at that point in time, and this is jumping from Pac to then. When I was 16 and I did that, that's when I met Kanye. Yeah. So
quantum leap.
Yeah.
From one quantum leap to the next.
Right.
Yeah.
So how you meet Kanye?
Okay, so I'll tell you that story. So basically, I went to Fairfax 9th and 10th grade. The first person who told me that Kanye was his favorite producer was a good friend of mine who went to Fairfax with me. His name is Kid Ink. So Kid Ink, a lot of people don't know he's an amazing producer. Like they know him for kind of like the corny-ish, pop songs. Yeah. But before that, he was a dope soul producer. He's the first kid I knew with an MPC.
Really?
And his beats were super fire. And so me and him used to be in Spanish class, not paying attention, on a Walkman, listening to Diplomatic Community. You feel me? Like, and we used to ditch. This is when the Grove first opened. Me, him, Carucci, Seiko, these people was ditching school, going to hang out, because I was the CD man, because I used to burn CDs for everybody. So I would have money at the beginning of school, so I would be able to go to Dupars and eat, and they just hang out at the table with me or whatever. We just ditching class. That's crazy. So because of that, I wasn't getting good grades, and my parents, obviously, I'm gifted, so I'm like, they're like, why
what the fuck are you doing?
Why do you have B, 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 A, A in your 3rd through 6th period, but your first 2 periods you got 2 Ds? What's going? Because I'm not going to class. I'm not going to class. Yeah. So as punishment, they took me out of Fairfax, the cool school, and sent me to Verbum Day.
Well, all the dudes.
Niggas.
Yeah. So I ended up graduating from Verbum Day, but it ended up putting me on the right path because I went to LMU for college, and that's how I got with, Pac Div and like you and I, and connected with all those people. So yeah, that's why I tell people I'm low key like a Forrest Gump of like LA of all the shit that happened. So I'm 16. My dad had sent me to get guitar lessons, which I was kind of like practicing a little bit, but it just wasn't sticking. And
did you have an interest for it though?
I did. Okay. I thought I really wanted to be a guitar player. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't. My brain was so focused on the fucking computer program and sampling and making beats. Like,
I can press the button and do that shit.
Right. And so I was, because of Kid Ink putting me on to Kanye and obviously Just Blaze and all that shit, heat makers running the sound at the time. I'm like, this is what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So as I'm playing my beats one day in the house or whatever, my dad comes by and he's like, man, this shit ain't nothing. Like, you ain't gonna be Prince, or it's funny, he's like R. Kelly at the time. But
be R. Kelly at the time.
But at the time, these were the greatest producers of that day, right? Of mid 2000s, and obviously Prince was of his era. So he's like, yeah, you will never be like them. You can't play no instruments. And I'm like, Dad, this is gonna be the new way music is made. You do not understand. You know what I'm saying? So we went to Mount Tabor Missionary Baptist Church on Western and 65th. And so he was like, if you think you're so good, go play your beats for Pope, who's the organist at the church.
Okay.
So I'm like, cool. So I go play my beats for him. And he's like, these are pretty dope. He's like,
I ain't gonna lie. Kind of fire.
Yeah. So he's like, what are you into? Like, who do you like in hip hop right now? Well, I was like, man, this dude I like, I don't know if you heard of him, because Pope is like in his mid to late 30s or whatever at the time. And I'm like, yeah, this dude named Kanye West. I don't know if you ever heard of him. And he's like, I'm working on his album right now. Do you want to go meet him? Yeah. And so how this dovetails into the Verbum Day thing is Verbum Day has a corporate work study program in which you go once a week to a job where you, like downtown or other places, but you basically just a kid like working in the mailroom, being outside of school, but they're trying to, get these young inner city kids to understand what it's like.
Introduce you to
the work life. Yeah. So when I was doing that, I was downtown on 5th and Grand, and I would walk around, and I end up meeting this chick that worked at the Singular booth. So her name is Candace Brown. She went by Miss Diddy, but she... Yeah. So she ended up dating Dom, but I met her first like a few weeks before, and so me and her just hit it off. I had the reason why we hit it off, because again, my dad always would give me technological shit, so he gave me the new i730 when that came out.
You was the nigga, right?
Yeah. So I'm chirping and I'm walking around. She's working at the Singular booth, and she's like, "Who's this little nigga with the new brand new phone?" So me and her started hitting it off. And it's funny because, again, she's like, oh, yeah, I know Kanye. And Joe Budden is texting her and all this. I'm like, who is this girl that knows everybody? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. And now she's
still.
So it's funny. Everybody's been the same person the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing has ever really changed. And so she's like, I got a skit that I did on Kanye's album. I was like, oh, okay, dope. So the workout plan, right? So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So now I'm taking this knowledge with me when he's saying like, oh, do you want to go meet Kanye, right? So I'm like, for sure. So next week, whatever, we go to Larry B. North Studios. First person I walk in, see Donda sitting there. You know what I'm saying? Then Kanye walks up, says what's up. You know what I'm saying? He's Kanye, of course. It's like, damn, nigga. He's like, your voice kind of deep. Are you a singer or something? I'm like, no, I'm a producer. So he's like, okay, for sure. So he walks me in one room. He's mixing Jesus Walks in this room. And then he's playing. He's got the album that he's working on in this other big room. So it's like Tony Williams is in there. Then Don C walks in. Iben is there, who I'm still friends with Iben to this day. And so I'm just like mind blown, just walking in there, right? And then like he starts playing me College Dropout. So listen.
You got the exclusive on College Dropout,
right?
Before it dropped.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking like, wow, like this might be an opportunity for me. But like reflexively, I'm like, oh, I was his target demographic. I'm a 16-year-old black, fresh kid from LA. Like I'm the person that he wants to know, is this working? You know what I'm saying? And it did. You know what I'm saying? Because he played Get 'Em High and my soul jumped out of my skin. Like imagine hearing that for the first time before everybody on a big ass speakers, you know what I'm saying? And then he goes and he raps because he recorded School Spirit that night. So he raps School Spirit to me like this. Like, if I could go through all that and still be breathing, bitch, bend over, I'm here for it, like face to face. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm like, this is the nigga, right? And so then I tell him the whole thing about, Candace or whatever. And he's like, he's like, how this nigga? Like, this? So then he plays me D-Ray's whole thing. The skits. And so I tell people like I help pick out the skits for the College Dropout because every time that I laughed, he points to the engineer, he said, stop, take that. And so that was like my introduction, my meeting with him. Like, and so I ended up going to the studio with him a few more times after that. I was there. There's another video of him in the studio with Rick James. So I was there. It was him, Rick James, Bump J, Keisha Cole. So that was like a crazy session. Damn. Yeah. So like that was at that time when I'm in there with him that night, right? I called Dom and I'm like, bro, we about to make it. Like I'm right here. Right. On, you know what I'm saying?
Listen to this.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm right here. This like as history is being made, you know what I'm saying? Like this is it. Like we gon' wherever we are right now, like we can get it. You feel me? So it's like but it was funny because he was on this other side of it and he didn't even need to be there. Like he had his own drive and his own understanding of what he wanted to do. And of course he did it. But for me, it was just like seeing it and knowing Dom was right there. I'm like, oh bro, you have the talent. Like we could take it. So that was like the next step. And then I went to college and that's when everything kind of changed. Cause I was like, my beats got way better. I got into film. I met Pac Div, Dom met Pac Div, and then I was working with all of them. And then this girl that I was dating at the time, I knew she knew Nip. And so again, like I knew Nip from the neighborhood, but we never really talked or anything. But I knew we had a bunch of mutual friends from just being around the neighborhood. So my next door neighbor was Young Brody. Who
I was just thinking about him the other day. I haven't seen him in a while, man.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh yeah, like they working together, like it's gonna be smooth. So I just told him like, can you just call Nip and just just ask if he wants to meet or whatever. Tell him I got a camera and whatever. And so I think it was like 19 or 20, and she hit him up, and he was like, what up? You know what I'm saying? What up? Yeah. He's like, okay, for sure. And you know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, meet me over here. You know what I'm saying? And that was that. And he was just, he was everything that everybody knows him to be like. Right. And so when I explain it to people, I tell them like, as gifted as I was and as much as I understood about hip hop and the world and black culture and everything, he's the only other person I ever met in his life that knew more about all of that stuff than me. You know what I'm saying? So it was always dope hanging out with him. We ended up traveling together. We went to Minnesota and DC, and obviously like his brother is one of the coolest people and dopest people you ever meet. Adam, like Jorge, like all them people. Just a great like energy. His dad. Like I was over there and like Slauson T because I grew up right there. Right, so you've seen it firsthand. Yeah. So I seen all of that. You know what I'm saying? All of that energy, and just everything that they were doing. It was just really cool to just be a part of a little bit of, and I was the first person to play them Dom's music.
That's also
yeah. Because he didn't know Dom at the time.
Yeah.
But I never introduced them. I can't like claim to that.
Right, but I mean, press play though. So when whenever they did meet, the connection was kind of already there, based off of him already hearing the music and being familiar.
Right, and being like, oh, okay, that's your cousin, cool. You know what I'm saying?
What's wild about this is just how casually you talk about this. When I'm so glad you're here to kind of tell these stories, right? Because I tell people all the time how fortunate we are, and we're not as close as you per se, but we're so blessed to experience what we've experienced. You know what I'm saying, in terms of like music and the energy that we've seen. I mean, we've seen a lot in these last couple decades, man.
Yeah.
Where I don't think people really understand like how fortunate we are,
bro. Super, and even to the point of like the stuff that I missed, like I missed. So Candace actually put me on to Kendrick because Candace is from Compton.
Yeah.
So I remember one day, I don't know where we were, but we were sitting watching a Kendrick video, and I was like, and so what happened previously was me and Dom actually, but I was really obsessed with Lupe Fiasco. Like when he came out in like 2005 or whatever, I had all his mixtapes. I mean, he's still like one of the greatest rappers I think of all time to me. But I was just like, man, I hope that he turns into this, special artist that I could see for him.
You talking about
Lupe.
Gotcha.
And so when Candace played me Kendrick, and Lupe had kind of gone away that I didn't really see it, like think it was gonna work.
You felt that void.
But this is why I didn't believe in Kendrick at first, because I would have had an opportunity to link with him and do, like I did with all the other art, because I linked with YG for, to just shoot some behind the scenes shit or whatever. But I never really pursued the Kendrick thing because I was scared that he was going to end up not making it. Because I'm like, oh, he's too lyrical. That's when she played it. I was like, oh, he's dope, but he's too lyrical. I don't know if that's going to work on a large scale. Now, obviously, it worked better than anything because he found the exact way that he needed to do it. But everything was that's what I'm just pointing out. Everything was so close. Everybody was right there. You know what I'm saying?
But just getting a chance to experience all this shit, like super blessed to kind of just be in the now and kind of see and hear these stories. It's so dope because I see so many connections and layers. Like as you're talking about this, I'm thinking about Candace. Me and Candace went to Long Beach State together.
Oh, for real?
So it's like there's a connection there. It's like, It's just crazy how all of our worlds kind of like intersect, intertwine, right?
Yep.
But for you, like you do all of this, and the music on the rapping side takes a back burner because you say your priorities kind of like are shifted to other people and making sure everybody else is cool,
right?
Right. So now here we are. Fast forward to Good Grief. You go through some things, and I want you to talk about the album in itself.
Yeah.
And the people that you unfortunately lost, but how that actually molded this album that you have right here.
Yeah. Well, I would say one of my big things when I had all of these stories was I believed supremely in Nipsey Hussle and Dom. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the stories that they were telling, and I felt like they were so important that I had to stop what I was doing to let
Focus
them.
on that, yeah.
But there were certain people, like I mentioned, my uncle Dom's dad, my grandparents, my homie Amanja, which was a big thing, and my cousin, my little cousin. All these people really believed in me and my talent, and it felt like when people transition, it's a very like spiritual thing, and so like I was there. My grandmother passed. Like I was the last person my grandfather talked to, the night before he passed. Like, so when you enter this other realm, it's hard to even describe and explain. But like that's the thing that pushed me, was that you start to realize, like, and Sinners kind of touches on this a little bit, where it's like the music is spiritual and it deals with the other realm, and we're kind of communing to kind of be in harmony or feel something from the other realm, you know what I'm saying, with music. And so that was kind of what was started to transmit, I feel like, through me, was I was able to write all of these songs again, almost as if I was 12 years old again, and it was just coming out. Like would send me a beat or a bunch of beats, and I'd have the song written the next day, and I go to the studio and I record the song the next day after that, and it was like it kept happening. You know what I'm saying? Polly, K Rose, all these artists, which I mean, those songs aren't on the album, but I had never had the fluidity in the music that I had when I started to make this. You know, previously, the other thing I say is like, I didn't really have shit to talk about. When I'm 19, 20, I'm just rapping to rap, because I enjoyed rap music. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you look at Tupac and, you know, even Kanye or whatever, obviously Kanye's thing was the Dropout and all of that. And he had like his whole ideology behind who he was as an artist. Tupac is probably one of the greatest examples of that, right? And his life being the thing that catapulted him to Me Against the World, and then to All Eyes on Me, and then to Machiavelli. And you see the things in his life that pushed him to have these messages about who he was, where he was, and his music. And so I finally had something to talk about. Yeah. And so these deep experiences that I went through, you know what I'm saying, with losing these people who were so, you know, obviously I think that the people that in my life are these amazing spirits and souls, right? And everybody should feel the same about the people in theirs. And so I felt like I wanted to convey some of that energy that they gave me to the world. And like, these are people who wanted to see me do whatever I thought was the best thing for me. You know what I'm saying? So when it came out like this, I was like, this must be what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like I was trying and I'm like sitting there, ooh, what do I say? You know what I'm saying? It was like, I hear a beat and then I start writing, and then it was like, you know how people talk about Jay-Z, it'd be 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
The song is there.
And it's done, and I'm like, damn, that's kind of hard. Like, okay, I kind of said some shit.
Throwaway shit.
Yeah, I kind of said some shit right there. Like, okay, cool, you know? But yeah, and so one of the biggest inspirations, my friend Amanja, who I talked about in the first verse of Good Grief, you know, he co-directed some of the Dom videos with me. We worked a lot together, and he directed a lot of the videos when I was doing my mixtapes. He directed the videos for those for me. So anytime I would do something, he'd be like, Jay, I got the camera, where you want to shoot? You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to honor our relationship by continue to do the things that, you know, we did together. You know what I'm saying? And so that was really like a lot of the inspiration for it. And you know, people say everybody grieves different. And so that was the other thing. I wanted my grandparents, my grandmother who's still with us, who's on the album. She's 94, she'll be 95 in October.
That's amazing, dude.
She's the just a ray of sunshine. She is the greeter at her elder center on Crenshaw.
Oh, that's cute.
And so she's always kind of imbued this spirit of just being outgoing, talkative, and what have you. And I felt like the album would give me a chance to connect with people who are dealing with their grief or whatever the case may be. Like, the best way for me to heal was to express and then connect. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that was really the end all be all, was like, I need to get this off my chest, because like, it could turn into anger, it could turn into sadness, it could turn into depression, it could turn into whatever, and that could be a negative. But let me express that and then see where other people are, because everybody's, you know, we're getting older. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So everybody's dealing with that, and like, it's something that's also not a big thing in hip hop.
Right.
Of course, you know, it's here and there, but again, my love for the Neptunes, I remember when my dad's dad passed away when I was 16, and the only song that I could really reference was the song by Scarface, Someday, that's produced by the Neptunes with Faith Evans on the hook. It's from the My Block album. Yeah. But I wanted more music, that I, like when I was sad or when I was going through something, I wanted more music that could relate to those moments, and I couldn't really. It never. You know
what's funny is that you say that too, because for, you know, obviously there's you know, certain Pac songs that have that, like the number 9 on fucking All Eyes on Me, the first disc, the one, oh my god, I can't think of it right now. Number 9 on the first disc.
Not Heaven Ain't Hard to Find.
Not Heaven Ain't Hard to Find. No, it's the one, the sad one, the very, very sad. How many brothers fell victim to the streets?
Rest in peace, young nigga. There's a heaven for a G. Be a lie if I told you that I ever fought to death. The nigga, the last one's left.
There we go. Yeah. But that song, and then obviously Shed So Many Tears or whatever. But
Shed So Many Tears is my favorite rap song of all time. By
amazing, amazing. Yeah. Shed So Many Tears, favorite song, right? Yes, classic Pac. But to your point, there weren't too many songs that you can talk about grief. The only other one that I can just remember off top was Mr. Fab. I think it's Heaven. It's called Calling Heaven or something like that. But it references to if you can talk to God, to talk to one of your loved ones. Something like that. I forgot. But to your point, there's not too many songs. So I'm glad you go ahead.
DMX.
DMX, you're right. DMX, you're right. You had the prayers and all that, right?
Yeah.
But good for you to be able to kind of put more of that in the atmosphere. What's been, I know it's only been out for a couple of weeks, but what's been the response from people? Like, has anything stood out to you where you like, damn, I'm glad I gave this offering up because this is what it's about. These are these type of moments that I want to, trigger in people.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the response is funny because the strongest response has been the song that references the actual toughest thing that I've had to go through, and it's like my personal vice, which is gambling, which is wanna bet.
Word.
Yeah. So it's like something that I've had to deal with that I've gone to, gambling anonymous classes and all, like it's a real thing, and it's obviously it's taking over America right now. It's like it's the worst that it's been, if you need to call the number, call the number. You know what I'm saying?
Show got them prize picks and they got everything available right now for you to go up.
And so that's really been the strongest, and I feel like that's kind of the trueness of art is that like when you're willing to touch on that your greatest weakness and make that your strength and say, okay, I'm gonna be honest about this and like really try to approach it, then people respond to that and without even knowing, because most people don't know that about me. I don't just go around telling people shit like that, but that one, things I imagine, I think has got a strong reaction. Like my ex texted me about like that one. She like
talking about me.
yeah. So it's like those two, in particular, I think had like a very strong reaction. But overall, I think people like the music. Like people like videos. That's more of like an upbeat song, but that's like that to me is like a Hey Ya type of song where it's like Hey Ya is a sad song, but it's an upbeat thing. Like the videos is like it's kind of the thesis of the album, which is like, so the other part of all of this, me being a filmmaker and me being really into my family and all that stuff and caretaking and what have you, like my grandparents, everybody, they trusted me with all the family photos. Wow. So a lot of the stuff, like even going back to Dom's Dreams Don't Come True, like I've collaged family videos and family photos as a part of our artistic journey and storytelling. So I did I did my grandmother's, my grandfather's, and my uncle's obituaries. Wow. So that process alone is like will wipe you out. You know what I'm saying? Like
Every time.
yeah. So doing that, it was really heavy. So when I was writing that song, the hook is like all we got is the flicks and the videos. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's really at the end of the day, that's it. That's all we, that's my version of saying that. All we got is memories, And so when you go through that and you see the finality of somebody's life and you get to really chart that and put all of that together, you're like, we got to stop being these people who are like, I don't want to take pictures or this and that. It's because at the end of the day, that's people want that in those moments, you know what I'm saying, when you don't have the person anymore. And it really brings, something comforting.
What's so wild about all this? I lost my pops this year would be...
Oh, sorry for your loss, bro.
Be 13 years. And that's the whole thing with grief. There's no timetable on this. Like certain days and years, you feel like, okay, not necessarily smooth, but it's not as tough. And then for whatever reason, I think maybe because it's coming up on like the 15th year. I forgot. Right now, I'm drawing a blank. It was 2011 when he passed. So whatever, however many years that is.
Yeah, 15 this year.
It's 15 this year?
This year. It's 26.
That's crazy. Yeah. So full circle now. So I'm thinking about these moments when you talk about, when we say something like that, every year that I post, on his birthday or Father's Day or the death anniversary, I look back and I'm like, damn, I only have a select amount of pictures that I can use. Exactly. There's no new pictures I can grab.
Yep.
Fortunately for me, there have been family and people that have reached out to me that are, send me stuff from, he's from Memphis, so some pictures that they have back at the crib that he grew up in or whatever, or the area he grew up in, or some family, somebody actually randomly sent me some like video footage that I've never seen of him in the 70s.
That's
and I'm
amazing.
like, my sister was like 4 years old. There's no audio to it. Yeah. So it's like little things like that. I get goosebumps thinking about that because it's like those are those moments that you never think about. It's like, damn, that's something I can cherish on. But I say all that to say he was a pastor, and when he passed, there was all his church sermons he put on CD.
Oh, dope.
And I've
That's
never listened to him.
Oh, really? Why not?
Maybe my own grief, maybe because I just wasn't ready for it. But I have it tucked.
Yeah.
So this year is the year I'm like, I'm gonna start listening to him.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody has their own moments. As you're talking about that, I'm like, I know that's my way of grieving, but also connecting to him as well, because I've ran out of the pictures. There's no more pictures. There's no more videos I can use.
Now you can actually hear
I can actually hear his voice. Like, so, and I know that's gonna be tough to actually press play on.
Yeah.
But when I hear the album, I think about moments like that and like how it's connected to my own grief.
Right.
And even you saying like obituaries like that, when his came up, I contributed what I can contribute, but I couldn't even fathom even like putting that shit together.
Right.
And even that's one thing that I don't wish that on anybody, but it's like, you know, and I don't know if I'm gonna bring it up, but Liz lost her mother. You know what I'm saying? That's a tough loss dealing with that. And I don't even want to think about putting my mother's obituary together.
And I had to.
Yeah.
I did it myself and read the obituary at the funeral.
Oh, wow. That's strength. That's real strength.
I knew that nobody else could convey that but me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I felt like, you know, what they say, God gives the strongest soldiers the
toughest battles.
Yeah. I feel like I handled it very well. So.
Right. No, for sure. And that's the tough thing. Like, even with me, so on the album, so I had a conversation with my uncle in 2019. He passed away, I think, 2023, July 2023. So I put a piece of that conversation on Good Grief. And, like, it's hard to listen to. I know it's probably hard for, you know, his son, his daughters, other people to listen to. And, you know, they can come to it whenever they want. I sent them the whole hour-long conversation that we had. But, you know, it was one of those things that I knew because, you know, he was suffering from cancer, and that I wanted to have something of him, you know, of us, because we will always have these deep philosophical conversations. And, you know, he was very, you know, just, I don't know, like, he was very smart about the way that he talked about life. And he knew that for a young person to take in what he was saying, you know, like, that there was always something that I would take away from it. So I actually got one of my tattoos is a quote that he used to always say is, take what you need, throw the rest away.
Yeah, that's a good quote.
So I excuse me. So I included that. You know, part of the documentary that I'm doing is on my grandfather and our family. So I interviewed my grandfather a lot the last 2 years of his life. And I interviewed my grandmother as a part of that for an hour or two, you know, which would have been the last year and a half of her life as well. So it's just something that I recognize as a filmmaker. When my grandfather told me the story about our family that I'm doing a documentary on, I realized that this was my purpose and the reason why I'm doing all this stuff. It wasn't just like, just to be a rapper or just to be a filmmaker and want to be Spike Lee or John Singleton. It was like, oh, it's a deeper purpose in community, Black history, and, you know, like, sharing these messages with other people so they can understand, hey, I should be doing this with my family.
Same thing,
you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the whole thing. Like, even the tagline I want to put for my movie is like, talk to your people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's
important.
It's super important. And so that's what I want to kind of convey with the music, with the film, with everything. Like, I want people to, you know, have as strong relationships as with the people that you care about who are in your family as you can. You know what I'm saying? Also, like, I'm aware that sometimes when people die, shit gets fucked up.
Weddings and funerals.
Yeah, so that's why it's good grief, right? Like, it's both things. Oh, sorry. That's why it's good grief. It's both things. You're gonna have that drama and that trauma when people pass, where shit gets fucked up with wills and trust and anger and people holding grudges and ego. All of that shit is gonna come into play. Sometimes there's nothing you could do about it, right? But then you have the memories of the person, the memories of your family throughout your life, and the only thing that you should want to do is celebrate that and try to look, you know, upon that with, you know, good feelings. Hopefully. So that's kind of it. And all of those things, these things were floating through my mind for months and years now, that I was like, I should definitely do this. You know what I'm saying? It was like, at that point, it felt like, again, God was talking to me like, this is your thing. Like, this is what I made you to do right now. Like, eventually you'll get to whatever else you want to do, whatever, but this is why I put you here in this place. This is why you're taking care of your grandparents and hearing their stories and all this, so you could use this and connect with other people, you know?
Yeah, and listening to you say all of that, it makes me believe that this is part of your healing process, your therapy.
Yeah.
Because you're able to like put it all on this album.
Yep.
Or you did put all of this on the
Yeah,
album.
yeah, for sure. And it's a process, right? Like, so my next album will be called Get Better Every Day, because like that's a part of the process. And this won't be the end of me talking about grief or grieving or, you know, all of that stuff. And
Never ending.
It don't go away.
yeah. And so I also want to give a shout out to somebody who I mentioned on the album, because we're doing a podcast, Ananda Lewis.
Shout out to Ananda Lewis.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in
Yeah.
peace.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Because when I was doing that stuff,
Another story.
nah.
Here we go.
No,
I was on
but it is.
MTV Jams with
Nah,
Ananda.
I wasn't.
I was on Teen Summit.
I wish.
You know, the teen in the summit, they were talking about me. No.
I wish, but
connection?
nah. I did a podcast with her in 2021.
Wow.
With my boy Trey. Trey. We did a podcast called Bomb. He does a podcast with Seth Curry.
Nice.
And yeah, he's super dope. So we did a podcast called Growing Up the Same, and he knew a lot of people. I knew a lot of people, but at a certain point, I just started like cold calling and just reaching out to people through DM. And so in that time period, like I told you, when I was young and I was just in my room, you know, writing raps or whatever, I was obsessed with MTV.
Yeah.
Everything, I just watched it 24 hours. I wouldn't change the channel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but Ananda was really that person for me there. And so when I hit her up just didn't know her, nothing, on DM, she responded, and of course she came and did our podcast, talked with us for an hour and a half. I would talk to her, you know, DM every now and again, but you know, obviously through that, she told us that she was suffering from breast cancer and all that, and it was just such a sad thing to kind of like watch, you know, somebody so young, like again, all these people so young, not just grandparents. Like again, my little cousin, he was 29. He died in a motorcycle accident. My homie Amanja, he was 44. He had cancer. You know what I'm saying? Like all these people, it's interesting, the grieving when it's old people, long illness, short illness, sudden death. Like everything has a different way that it hits you, and you know, close friends, somebody you just met once, you know, it's like, or seen them on TV for 10, you know, it's like all these different things. It's like it has all of this, it plays, you know, with your heart and your emotion and your spirit. But I definitely wanted to make sure I shouted her out because it was instrumental to just the evolution of Black culture. You know what I'm saying?
What did you learn about yourself throughout the whole process? Kind of wrapping this up, man. With all these experiences that you've gone through, you know, it took you a lifetime to create this album. You finally offered it up the way it flowed out through you to create this, and now it's serving as a healing mechanism for yourself and other people that are listening to it as well. While creating or even after the fact, are there things that you learned about yourself?
Oh yeah, I'm still learning. But I mean, I think I learned that everybody's not gonna love everything that you do, you know, and you got to be like confident and content with that, and know that like this is your purpose, and just you can't have your faith be shaken. You know, and what you know that you want to do, and whatever that is, you know, especially if you know that it's not like a harmful thing that you're doing to with any malice. Like I know that, you know, the spirit and the energy that I've like conjured on this is to heal myself and the others, and to be, you know, uplifting and to talk about the things that, you know, trouble me and, you know, are weigh on my heart or my mind. And also just want to be spit dope raps too. You know what I'm saying? Sure. So that I think I got a newfound confidence in terms of like rapping, because I now playing shit for people, and people are like, oh shit, I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? You could spit like this. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it was really like when I did songs like Dopamine or Malibu Beach Inn, where I was like really crafting what I thought was some dope rhymes. Like that was the thing for me. Like I was like, oh man, this is good. Like I feel like I would play this for Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Like when I felt that feeling, I was like, cool. You know what I'm saying? So that was really the overall.
Watch you meet this nigga next week.
I met him with, let me tell this last story. I met him with Ken. This is the last time I seen Kanye West. So I was at the 808s and Heartbreaks release party. Dom was there too. So, but I went with somebody. I went with this Asian chick who I was hanging out with at the time.
Cambridge.
Huh?
Okay, Cambridge?
No. So the last time I seen Kanye West was at the 808s and Heartbreaks release party. This is one of the craziest like events, days, things I ever like been a part of. So I go there. It's this big warehouse on La Brea, and so in the middle of the it's a big ass open space. In the middle of the space, it's like 60 naked chicks on a dance floor in high heels, just standing still, stiff as a chair, right? And it's like, it's dark as fuck, but it's like, you know, these strobe lights and shit going off. But I'm seeing Chris Robinson, Jay-Z, Andre, or L.A. Reid, like all these like moguls, you know what I'm saying? Big wigs. And I'm like, what the fuck? And there's a bunch of people who would be known now as like influencers, right? That are there. So it's like probably like 100 some people. And then, so that's in the middle. So imagine it's right here. And then like over there is Kanye West in a black leather suit standing by himself dancing to the music. Oh, wow. Right. So I see Jay-Z and then I'm with this chick and I see Candace is standing right next to him. I'm like, all right, that's my opportunity. So I'm like, yo, Candace, this girl I'm with, she want to meet Jay-Z. Because I don't want it to be me, right? I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to fan out.
Hey, man, she ain't from here. She just really want to meet him.
Yeah. So I'm like, can you introduce her? And so she's like, yeah, come on. So she introduces her, and I'm standing right there, and then I introduce myself to Jay-Z, and of course, like, I don't fan out, but I'm just like, man, you're my hero. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I said that to him, and I'm sure he was like, it's another nigga, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it was cool because at that exact moment, we're standing there. It's me, and I don't know if it was Ty. It was just him and one other person because he wasn't like no entourage or nothing. And so me, him, and the girl standing there, Candace, and then Amazing comes on. So then that beat is so hard, and it's the first time, I don't know if you heard it before, but it's the first time I'm hearing everybody else hearing it. So literally for the next 3 minutes, I'm standing there rocking out with Jay-Z, like, like it's yeah. So after the song was over, I just walked away. You know what I'm saying? But then so I wanted to say something to Kanye again because he was over there by himself, and you know, obviously like his mom had passed, and this is all that like 808 time period. So I knew because like I meet a fair amount of people, but not even 100th or 1,000th of the amount of people that he meets. I'm like, this nigga don't remember me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
no way.
So and he didn't, I don't think. But I walked up to him and I was just like, man, I met you a long time ago with EP, like you know, doing a Dropout. I wanted to just say congratulations on all your success. Like you did it, man. Yeah. Like you really him. And then you know, I just dapped him up, hugged him, and then I just walked off. And that was like. You know, that was the old Kanye, so we know that was like
the original.
The original Kanye. So yeah, that was my last story I'll tell.
Bro,
but I mean,
I swear we could go on because there's a lot of knowledge and a lot of history, man. Just the way that you provide the context for this is just so important.
Yeah. And then sorry, and then I also before we end because we mentioned it, but I also want to give it up to him for, you know, they dedicated Nipsey Hussle Square, Crenshaw and Slauson, and I'm glad that's always going to be named after him. Yeah. And in the good grief, like that was actually one of the hardest losses that I ever took because like I thought that he was going to be like my Michael B. Jordan, you know what I'm saying, on some film shit. Like we had talked about it, you know, like I have a script that I wanted him to be, you know, the main character in and like all that stuff. So, but it's not even about me and him. It's just really more about him and his impact on the culture, which I always knew it would be. You know what I'm saying? 2009, like I dropped out of college to do LA's My Playground because I just wanted to follow him around. You know what I'm saying? So like, and everything that he did, all his energy from then until, you know, like his untimely passing, like people can see what it was all about, and he continued to elevate. And so that was really like the first person I lost, other than like, you know, my other cousin Alex, that really shook me to my core. You know what I'm saying? I just couldn't fathom like how God could let something like that happen. You know what I'm saying? But his understanding is greater than ours, so I don't question it. But yeah, definitely want to shout out Nipsey Hussle.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, man, because I think that's a connecting point for a lot of people. You know, that's in our generation, we talked about it, like we experienced so many things from the loss of Pac, you know what I'm saying? But that's our era of like real connection to somebody. Like with Pac, you knew the nigga. You knew the nigga. You know what I'm saying? No, but I'm saying we never met Pac. We were so young, but we were heartbroken over that.
Yeah.
But somebody like Nip, who we actually experienced and knew, and I'm sure obviously your connection is way stronger. It's just like, damn, like we got a chance to live that, but also seeing the legacy and how the family is carrying that is an amazing thing to see.
Amazing,
as well.
amazing.
You know what I mean? So it's like, although it's a tragic story, I'm so grateful that the family is upholding that legacy and continuing it and not just letting it fall by the wayside.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
amazing,
Everything that Sam and Lauren and their whole BH, Cuzzy, Kabi, all of them, you know what I'm saying? Everything that they're doing is amazing. And I'm so thankful that he had the right team. Jorge, sure. That he had the right team around him and the right spirits and energy around him to propel his message and who he is into eternity.
Yeah. So on that note, we're going to end it like this, man. And we can keep it simple, but the year can't end without Jason Madison doing what? What are some things you're manifesting, you're thinking about, you want to make sure that you accomplish before this year ends?
Oh, man, the year can't end without me making at least one amazing video. Like amazing music video or a short film or whatever. I call it a video, but it can't end without me surprising myself.
There we go.
With a film project.
And we're gonna close it out by asking you this, and you can look directly into the camera and let us know, what does the term homegrown mean to Jason Madison?
Man, homegrown means you really from there. You really from the turf. You really from the dirt. You from the city, from the section. You know, and everything in your DNA represents that. And I feel like I'm one of those, homegrown, Los Angeles.
Absolutely, man. Jason Madison, Homegrown Radio. Good Grief out right now. Chuck Dizzle, Miss Bliss. We'll catch y'all next time.
Peace.